Hello, I'm Sorospa, and today I'll be your humble guide through OFF. So this is my second attempt at recording this, because my previous attempt didn't go so well, seeing as I accidentally didn't turn the mic on when I started recording. So that was kind of a waste, but that's okay, because this time I'm gonna do it, even better than before. Uh, There is a slight difference, because, like an idiot, I didn't keep my original save where I left off, but fortunately, we have my test recording save, which is in the same place and at a slightly higher level. Um, so I think that should pretty much do it for us. So we're heading into the room, which is the final area, and I'm not saving over that one just in case. I think I'm gonna save over this one. So let's go. So this is where things change a lot. Um the room is a place where things become both a lot clearer and a lot more confusing. Um Another interesting thing, I noticed this not too long ago, is there's a little note at the very bottom that I never saw before, and it says, it's hard to read, but it says, Zachary is the best guy. No. He is so sympathetic. It's a friend. Something like that. I don't know what that I don't know what that's about. Um but there's not much else here other than the date. I think that what I'm gonna do different this time around is I'm probably gonna give a lot less commentary. A lot of important things happen in the room, and I had less to say about them than I thought. And I guess a lot of that just comes down to even now, I still don't really understand a lot of it. So maybe this time I'll just try and let the game speak for itself a little bit more. And now we're back here. Ah, bears. As far as I know, there's no avoiding the bears. But that's okay, because we can just scan them and find out that they're bears. It is in fact a carnivorous mammal with thick fur, in case you didn't know about bears. Despite the fact that I've done quite a few extra spells in this version, despite the fact that this is kind of the final area, it's not exactly a final dungeon per se. There aren't a lot of fights in this area. So if you're hoping to level up a lot in here before the final fight, you're gonna be a little bit disappointed. If you really want to level up, it's best just to hang out in the pure zones, because you can just supercharge your leveling up there. It's ridiculous. And now the bears are gone. Still February the 11th. So this is interesting. And we can fight these specters here if we want. And they are also scribbles. Why is that? It's 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 because they're abstract specters. They're weak against plastic. Let's see. The boss is gonna be way easier with all these abilities. Definitely. So I guess I can be glad for that. Batter, no. Die, specters. You don't belong in this world. But anyway. Even if you kill these things off, it doesn't really do much. You pretty much just avoid them. Kind of. You could spend quite a bit of time in this room. The room, the area, not this room specifically, is pretty much, in case you haven't noticed, themed around screwing with you. So really, what you want to do is just turn around and leave. That's it. Definitely want to save frequently. And, this is where things get really weird. I think, yeah, I'm probably not gonna say much in this section. I'm just gonna let this part speak for itself, I guess. Is probably for the best. Let's see. This one says, nobody will read this. It is stupid, but it looks like it is real bad. I don't know. I don't really know if there's any point to those. Hey look, this path is not sketchy now. Never mind. Alright, so the big mister wanted to know what day it is, and we know where to find that information. Let's take a calendar sheet. Wednesday. I'm not sure what that's all about. Take a look at the book. Wait, what? The cover says title illegible. I didn't notice that before. Is that literally the title? Well, anyway, this is one of the books from the library, it looks like, which is a hint for who might want it. Alright, so from here you might kind of wonder where you're supposed to go, because none of the other areas lead anywhere, but there's actually another location that's kind of hidden in plain sight. If you go up here, that's right, go this way. Um, So obviously that section of the game is pretty important, and also the part that I kind of have the most trouble making any sense of. Maybe I'll talk about that more in a moment. Remember what I said about the room screwing with you? So this is definitely interesting. And these aren't any of my save files, so let's just go with the top one. But yeah, my interpretation of Chapter 3 is basically a hint that, oh, there's another one of these little messages. It says, a day like no other. Nothing to say about this day. It's all. But anyway. Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep getting interrupted. We can use the music box here. If we use it right here, it plays this song and we get this. I believe this is the best add-on equipment in the game. So let's put it on alpha. Can we put this? Yes, we can. So that world that we saw looked, I think, more like a real place than the other places we've been. And if you check the calendar or wrote it down, you'd know it's this one. If you mess these questions up, you don't really get another chance. And I guess my suspicion is that this is kind of a hint that maybe what we've been seeing throughout the game isn't necessarily monsters. The funny thing is that I didn't even know for a long time that you could even get into encounters here. Or maybe I just forgot, because I've been running into them at least once, but they're fairly rare, actually. But yeah, we can see that there are parallels in the behavior of the three friends with the Guardians. You know, Didon talks about working, and Japhet talks about keeping everyone safe, and Enoch talks about baking cakes. Aura of power. So I kind of think that we're kind of supposed to question what we've seen so far, because we kind of seem to be looking at a different reality. And there is definitely reason to suspect that that all these things aren't exactly real. And that maybe how the Guardians are represented in this world isn't necessarily accurate. But maybe I'll get into that later as we see more of what's going on here. Anyway, so the important thing here is to make a note that the leaves, I think they are, pointing to the right are important. But of course I already have notes on those. Secret code warehouse. this stuff is totally easy if you've been paying attention, which I totally have, which is why I don't even need the notes, but I took them down just in case. So we've seen all of... I've run into 2 encounters. I think that's the first time that's happened. This is the other enemies I've seen here, which I saw for the first time when I attempted to record this earlier. So for all I know... Sorry. For all I know, there might be even more enemies that I haven't seen here, but they're pretty rare and not especially notable. I mean, they don't do much. But let's head down here and meet a giant head. I'm doing fine, thank you. Okay. I guess this is a pretty easy game when you're telepathic. Boop, boop. Nope. Obviously we're going to have to find a 4-digit number somewhere. Oops. And there we go. A 4-digit number. So we give it to him. And it turns out that the game is still faking you out. So we gotta find another 4-digit number. But we still want to hold on to that one for now. So we've got 2 other save blocks. Pseudo save blocks, I guess, that we still need to explore. This is kind of creepy. And if you were paying attention, then you pretty much know what to do. And voila! We have another 4-digit number. I kind of wonder if anything happens if you skip that puzzle by writing down the number ahead of time. I guess nothing much happens because it's not like you need to solve it to do anything else. It's not... It's kind of sequence breaking, but not really. But I don't want to skip the puzzles unless I have a good reason. So now you know where you'd find that number. So, off to the big giant head. Actually, hold on. I'm doing everything out of order. Not everything, but I actually kind of want to explore the 3rd block before we do that. In the 3rd block, we're upside down. And we can go in here and... I wonder if there's a calendar page hidden here. I guess not. We go this way. We find that an impossible perspective isn't going to let us inside. So we have no choice but to return for now. And now we are going to head to the big giant head. And spent a lot of time walking down this long corridor. Let's see, what was it? 5, 8, 6, 5. Woo, there we go. And if you remember, the cards were used for getting to new areas, so that's definitely notable. see how this works. Alright, and since we already have another number we haven't used yet, let's enter the code. Still animate. Kind of seems like an afterthought. Right, so things are going to be kind of completely different for a while. So let's take a look at this guy. He's got the same inventory, same very weird inventory as the batter, but he's got different skills: basic attack, healing, multiple enemies. He's got different equipment. I'm just gonna leave those on. He's a superhero. So we can run into these guys. But there's not really much to be gained by fighting them. Although there is one thing. We don't have the batter's wide angle ability, but we do have an item that doesn't really have much use elsewhere. And it's called eye. Does the exact same thing, but you can carry it around. They have a strong weakness against justice. Heal him up a little bit. I don't actually know what happens if you die. I guess you probably just get a game over. I don't know. I don't really feel like experimenting right now, though. Pretty hard here. Unfortunately, we have bomb, we can just take them out all in one go. Get some items, so that's nice. So it's probably pretty hard to miss the fact that that the villain in the comic book looks a lot like the batter, which awfully strange, I'd say. So we're not gonna be able to afford everything that we want here. But we should be able to get enough. Let's get some of these. We could get some of these maybe. A jumpy symbol. Get him a Neil tunic. Aura of lunacy. So this is a Latin phrase. I'm not going to try to pronounce it so that I don't embarrass myself, but I will go ahead and tell you what it means later. So we will get to that in due time. In the meantime, let's suit up with all this stuff we've bought. Neil tunic. More epidermis. Of lunacy. Huh? What? Not letting me take it off. Strange. That might be a bug. Femur epidermis. Epidermis. Oh, we can maybe sell off a few more items. Aggressive symbol, Aura of Justice. Canapa tunic, Aura of Clairvoyance. Not gonna need this stuff, so we may as well sell it all. Michael Bat. Color of Hatred. I don't really want to sell the days. Although after we get our final set, we're probably not going to use the rest anymore. Let's see. I wonder if we can sell this one last Aura of Clairvoyance to push us over the edge of being able to wait for it. Aha! There you go. And let's give Omega Secret Day, since it protects from poison, mute, and blindness. And protecting it from mute is definitely a way to continue to be able to cure status effects in other people. There's the one that protects from where's the one that protects from poison? Okay, that's fine. Beneficial to competences. Beneficial to physical attacks. Protects from poison. Just keeping him alive is good, because he has healing. I think we're all good, so let's go for it. Um, so this is kind of where we're getting to the part I warned about at the beginning. Um, so kind of something to be aware of, I guess. Alright, so here's an important note about this particular line of dialogue, is that it's actually a major mistranslation. Apparently this was corrected in later versions of the game, which is something I wasn't aware of. If I had known, I would have gotten the latest version. But the correct translation of the line is, I will not let you lay a hand on the Son who has brought us into the world. So it's pretty different from how it's originally translated, and this comes straight from the translator himself, who said that he kind of noticed, I think someone pointed out to him that he made a pretty huge mistake in translating this line. So yeah, the Son who has brought us into the world is the correct translation. So definitely something to bear in mind, because it changes things quite a bit. So, yeah, I think, I'm just gonna talk about the boss fight for now. It's probably for the best. So as far as final boss fights go, I need to wide angle. This one is actually not that difficult. I think it's actually easier than the fight against Enoch. So Vader Eloha, which I'm probably mispronouncing, I'm guessing. But that translates to Father God. I don't quite understand the significance of that name. You'd think it would be Mother God. But that's what it means. And like many other things in the room, I don't really get it. But, you know. So for now, we just want to take down the add-ons and stay alive. And hopefully not get too poisoned or anything. Actually been not taking that much damage, probably because I am much more leveled up. I was actually being able to win the game pretty significantly under leveled, I think. I should probably heal Epsilon's stuff. Gotta heal the thing. Heal the thing. And we probably should take her out pretty quickly. Oops. One thing to note is I actually kind of turned over in my head the warning I gave in the beginning, where I said that there was abuse. The difficult thing about this is that it's, I don't know, it's kind of, it's a little bit hard to I don't know if you call this abuse exactly. And it's hard to understand because of the way the game is structured what is happening, if what we're seeing is really happening or if it means something else. I don't know. But it's definitely uncomfortable, and I guess that was kind of the main thing I was trying to warn against. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if you're still here, then you can pretty much decide for yourself how you feel about it. But things are definitely gonna get more uncomfortable from here, so I guess just something to bear in mind. Um, so this is kind of where the game kind of forces your hand, because there's nothing you can do here. You can't wait out the fight. You can't choose. You can choose to do nothing, but the game isn't gonna end. You're just stuck here until you finish the battle. Um, the child has only one ability, which is to defend. I don't even know if it actually does anything. So we pretty much have no choice but to proceed. But before we do, there was one thing in particular that the queen said during one of her attacks. She said that we don't even know his first name, and she's right about that, because his name isn't mentioned, and will never be mentioned unless you use wide angle on him. So now, at least, we do know that his name is Hugo. I guess we should just end this quickly. One thing is that it's easy to misunderstand, to misinterpret his sprite. But he's actually holding a piece of meat, not like a blanket or anything like I thought. It's not entirely clear why he is holding a piece of meat, but he is. So, now you know that. Interestingly, you can actually turn back here if you want. But if you do, you'll find that there's nothing here. So there's nothing for us to do but to proceed. So the game gives you two choices here. Calls this one the official ending. But as far as I'm concerned, the canonical ending is this one. Um, and that's gonna be what I'm choosing here. And now we finally see the batter for what he truly is. As before, we can use an eye and analyze the batter, and oddly enough, his add-ons, although they don't appear in the fight. The judge has his own set of attacks, but we're not going to be spending much time with them, obviously. I do want to make sure he doesn't die, since that would ruin my my run pretty handily, I think. I think it's also about time that I told you what that phrase was that Zachary said. It translates to, he prevails over himself, is twice victorious.
That I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? Happy little bluebirds fly beyond the
Um, so to be honest, if you just stopped here, I think that you would have actually a pretty good and complete experience of off. Um, but if you're like me, then you can't just leave all these loose ends unfinished. There's still more to be done, and I hope that you will join me when I finish those last few extra things at the end. So I hope to see you there.